Hello. Now this is me going over the book of the month, the book for the month of March in Park Parenting Accountability Community. You know what? One of the things we do there is that we read a book once a month and we'll come together to review it. We have actually come together to review this book. If you're a Park mom, you should know we've reviewed this book. However, I can't find the video to upload and I don't know what happened, something I'm not very proud of right now. So I decided to come and just kind of do a quick review again all by myself, since I couldn't find the one that we all put effort together to review. The book for the month of March was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Is definitely a book you want to get for your parenting journey. It's not a parenting book, yes, but however, the principles in this book are timeless. If you can use them for your friends and win friends, if you can use them for your colleagues, your subordinates, your neighbors, and people around generally, you can also use them to win your friends, your children rather, especially in this era where we need to tighten our seatbelts when it comes to parenting. So the principles in this book are so timeless. They are so timeless. And funny enough, there are principles I've seen people use, whether intentionally or accidentally, very many times. Yes, I actually was going through them and I was like, wow, I remember this actually happened. I remember this actually happened. I remember this actually happened. But one of the things we don't do is we don't deliberately pay attention to using them on our children. So Park is a parenting community. We read these books to actually empower ourselves so that we can have a healthy lifestyle to model to our children. Now imagine if we understand the principles in this book, we actually take them and use them in our everyday lives. Our children see how we communicate with other people, how we get what we want from people, how we resolve conflicts, and a whole lot. And then they learn from us. They become born leaders. I always ask, are leaders born, or are they born leaders, or leaders are made? And I've always said that the truth is, from observation, is that there are children who have been exposed to leadership skills from small, leadership tools and strategies, because people around them are just skilled in leadership. So these children watch them, they learn from them, and so when they grow up, they begin to exhibit these traits or these skills, put them into use, and people say, this person it comes naturally, is a born leader. It may not be that that child was born a leader. It may just be that the child has been exposed to leadership strengths, skills, tools, and strategies from small. So if we understand, if we open ourselves to learn from these principles and apply it to our lives, our children will watch us, the way we communicate, the way we get our things done, the way we resolve conflict, like I said before, and they are going to run with that. And apart from that, our children are human beings. So if we use these principles to get along with people, then we should not have to bother that our children are not cooperative, when we actually have principles we can actually use to win them and influence them. Really, it's a good read, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I hope I got the pronunciation right again. It's a very good read and I recommend it for everyone. I also recommend that you encourage your child to read it as they get to teenagers, maybe 18, 19, 16, 17, 18, 19, when they're about entering a high institution. It's a good read. It's a book that will definitely benefit them. We need to the world is a global village. We need to be able to relate with people effectively, our children, our colleagues, and everyone. So this book is a masterpiece. So let me go into the review. We have a lot of principles in this book. I don't think I can possibly review everything, but there are so many of them that actually stand out for me. If I want to look at winning friends, for example, or influencing people, there are so many of them that you just want to use. And one of the things about this book is they have beautiful stories that you can easily relate with. Beautiful stories that you can easily relate with. And one of the stories that actually got me giggling was Abraham Lincoln, where eventually he was going to fight because he was very careless. Should I say careless? He was very he didn't care about what he said with his words, how he hurt people until one day he entered trouble. I was actually waiting for him to be dealt a big blow. Anyways, that's just by the way. So the book is a good one. You definitely want to read it. Principle number one: don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Now, we do that a lot in parenting. We are always criticizing, we are always complaining, we are always condemning. I have a book, How to Earn Your Child's Trust. And the idea of the book actually was influenced by a parent who reached me. She was really, really heartbroken. She was kind of really heartbroken. What happened was her teenage daughter had a near rape situation, and the girl did not tell the mom. Instead, she confided in her best friend, and her best friend told her mom, and the best friend mom actually told her. And she was like, this is a girl I neither beat, yell at, or anything. So what happened? What did I do wrong? So we got talking about it. When I got talking to the girl, I realized that it is a whole lot more than not beating or yelling. Being able to win your child and your child's trust, so much so that your child can confide in you, tell you what goes on in his or her life. Because the truth is, if you do not know what goes on in the life of your child, you will not be able to guide your child. You will not be able to influence your child. And guess what? Things happen. We always seek help. Is either you want to access your files and bring out the help file you have there to access it. You want to Google it. You want to ask friend. You just want to do random things. We always find a way to get help. What help is your child getting? If something happens to your child cannot come to you for you to actually proffer the help that aligns with your values. What help will your child get? If your child needs to confide in someone and your child cannot come to you to confide in you, who is your child confiding in, and what is that person going to advise your child? What is that person going to tell your child? What choice is that person going to influence your child to take? So these are very important, especially in this era we are now, where we know that a lot of drama is going on. Everything is becoming a norm. There is so much fluidity. Everything is just moving seamlessly. You know, things that we saw before and we were like, oh, this is not it. They are gradually becoming the norm in the most seamless way, you know. So we need to be able to understand what goes on in the minds of our children, in the life of our children, to be able to influence them. So like I said, it's not just about, oh, I don't yell, or I don't smack. There are a whole lot of things we can do to be able to influence our there are so many other things we can do that will make our children not trust us enough. And if they don't trust us enough, we may not be able to influence them to uphold our values. So the first one I have here: don't criticize, condemn, or complain. You actually want to apply that in your parenting. You want to pick the book and read and see how this works in friendship, and even as a boss, how it works. It's a very good advice. Give honest and sincere appreciations. This is that. The second one that is super effective, even to your children: give honest and sincere appreciations. You know, one of the things we hear about, to boost your child's self-confidence, to help your child build their self-esteem, you need to compliment them, you need to appreciate them, you need to there's a word I'm looking for. You need to praise them. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. However, if your praise is not sincere, then you are going to actually doing the opposite of it. Apart from the fact that your child may even know that your praise is not sincere, you are not going to give your child a room to grow. It's a different ball game, and we'll talk about this in part another time. Arouse in the other person an eager want. That is another principle. It simply means internal motivation. One of the things the book said about this thing was that people do the things they actually want to do, which is absolutely true. People do things because they want to do it. No, we're not talking about you forcing them or using a gun or no. Even your children. Some time ago in park last year, we actually had someone to come and talk to us about how to help our children do better in school, improve their academics, and has focal point, all she talked about was internal motivation, helping your child develop internal motivation. That is it. Because according to the coach, she believes that children do well if they want to do well or when they want to do well. So your child is internally motivated. Your child understands that, oh, I have to pass my exams. And so because of that, they'll put extra effort to pass their exams. So when they put the extra effort, they are going to pass their exam. They are going to do well. So her entire class was centered around raising children with internal motivation. Now, this is what this part of this book is talking about. Arose in your child, in the person, an eager wants. That is, let them genuinely desire it. So your values for your children, let them genuinely desire it. Whatever the behavior you want your children to uphold, let them be the one to actually want to uphold those behaviors. Not because there's a consequence, not because you are going to flog, you are going to yell, not even because just to please you, not because you are threatening them, no, but because they have a genuine reason, a genuine interest to actually want to behave in such a manner. You actually want to read the book to understand this further. The next one is become genuinely interested in other people. Yay! Yes, it's one of the ways you can actually win friends. You are genuinely interested in people, in their welfare, in how they fare and everything. The same thing happens to your children. Show genuine interest in your children, the things they like, their friends. Show genuine interest. Be interested in their affairs, in their activities. Know what rocks their what rocks their boat. Know what keeps them flowing. Just understand their innate interest. Now, this is why it's important for you to actually understand your child's temperament, because it helps you understand their choices, the drive behind their choices. Be genuinely interested. We know when people are superficial. It's easy to know. We know when people are selfish and self-centered around us. It's easy to know. We also know when people are genuinely interested in our affairs. So one of the ways to win people, to win friends and be able to influence people, if you care, we care about people who care about us. Yes, you know, someone cares about you, it's easy for you to care about the person too. That is another principle. Remember that a person's name is to the person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Now, yes, this is true, addressing people by their names. However, one of the things I added to this part, because I teach children etiquette and manners in school, so I also teach them how to be able to get to the heart of people. So one of the things I also teach them is not just knowing people's names, which is important to them. Imagine if you're in a place, like when we're doing the review, a parent said this, a mom said this, that imagine if you're at a place and someone just mentions your name, if you're going to feel like, okay, someone knows me here, you know. So one of the things I added to it was that titles, especially in this part of the world in Nigeria, where we are crazy about titles, where people do a lot of things to actually get titles, whether political title, academic title, or which other traditional titles, or whatever the titles are. People make a lot of effort and sacrifices to get titles. So when you address them by their titles, it actually makes them feel good. One of the ways to earn people's love and admiration, win friends and influence people. And for your children, how does this apply? Some children just like certain titles to be called. You hear children say, oh, I'm a professor this, I'm a professor that, I'm an engineer this. It's not a big deal. Address them by that. It makes them feel good. Besides, it creates a picture in their head. It gives them something to look forward to. So address people by their names and their titles, and not the names that I don't know, you just spew out of anger. Be a good listener and encourage others to talk about themselves. Now, this is it. This is one of the magic ones. Be a good listener and encourage people to talk about themselves. We do all the talking, all the instructing. Everybody likes to be heard. You want to keep talking and talking and people hearing you. But I'm talking about friends now. But the truth of the matter is the way you love to be heard is the way your friend loves to be heard. So what you want to do, actually let them Give them, make them feel important. Let them be heard. Let them be the one doing the listening to you. It actually makes them feel good. The same thing happens to your children. Children love to be heard. We don't have time to actually listen to them. What you want to do is to find time, is to make our time to always listen to your children. Don't be the one that is doing the talking, the talking, the talking, the talking. Listening is a skill. Listening is a skill you must learn if you are an intentional parent, or if you want to go far in your parenting. Listening is a skill. I read somewhere that if you don't listen to them in the small things they have to say, when the big things come, they may not want to share with you, because after all, we have a culture of you not listening. So why do I need to talk to you when you don't listen after all? Listening is a skill, like I said. It involves making eye contact, asking open-ended questions, projecting the right body language. We should also learn, we should really, really learn to listen to your children, so that when the big stuff comes, they also want to talk about it. Talk about talk in terms of other people's interests, make other people feel important. Yes. The only way to get the best out of an argument is to avoid it. We'll call it choose your battles wisely in parenting. Show respect for other people's opinions. Yes, never say you are wrong. No, there are ways you can actually say things. There are ways you can actually say something and you'll be conveying the same message. I think one of our tasks, was it this week or yesterday? Was it today or yesterday? One of our tasks in Park was rephrase your words, rephrase your words. Whatever you want to say, you can also say it in such a manner that you're not aggressive, you are not high-pitched or anything. You can pass the same message. Show respect to other people's opinion. Yeah, I just talked about that. If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Oh yeah, this is one of the stories he shared in this book was a man who was only in speaking terms with his son for years. The son got married, had grandchildren. The man and the son, they were not in speaking terms, and the man was wrong. However, they have a culture that elders don't go to meet the younger ones, so the younger ones come to meet the elders, and because of that, the man, for the longest time ever, he did not go to meet the son, until one day he said, well, he had to go, and he actually went, and that actually brought them together. He got to see his grandson for the first his grandkids for the first time. It's a different ball game. It's a different era we are now. If you are wrong, please admit it. You don't know it all. You cannot be right. You make mistakes. You are a human being. So sometimes you can, yes, be wrong. So whenever you are wrong, quickly admit it. Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't take anything away from you. It's just ego that make us not able to say we are sorry. And like I always say to parents, you don't say you are sorry to your child. Your child is learning to have bloated ego just like you. And guess what? The fact that you are getting away with some of the things you're doing doesn't mean your child will get away with them. What if your child has a child tomorrow and not saying I'm sorry cost him something that yours didn't cost you? So let's learn to please do well to model healthy behaviors, healthy lifestyle, healthy character to your children. So again, when you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Always begin in a friendly way. Get the other person saying yes immediately. Actually love this part. Get the other person saying yes immediately. I love this part. I don't want to spill it. You go and read the book and you know what that is all about. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. I think we've talked about that when we talk about learn to listen. Let them do it. Yes, when people talk, you get to know them better. That's just the truth. Apart from the fact that people feel good doing the talking, you also get to know them better. If you give your child room to talk, you get to know a lot of things in the life of your child. You get to know a lot of things that ordinarily you wouldn't have gotten from a mere yes or no and question. You should let them do the talking about themselves, how their day went in school, their friends, they went for a party, they went for a visit, the food they ate, what happened to the food. And when you just let them talk, you are going to keep your ears down and you are going to learn a lot of things from your friends, from your children. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Let the other person feel that the idea is hers. Now, this is one one strategy we actually use for the strong-willed child. You let them feel is theirs. The strong-willed child, right? Sometimes they just want to be in charge. Not sometimes, most of the time they want to be in charge. Oh, they don't want you to impose. Something like my daughter, you ask her, okay, wear this dress, and she doesn't want to wear the dress. Not for any reason, but because I need to pick my dress myself, kind of mindset. So what do you want to do? Let them feel they are in charge. I've shared this a couple of times in park, in 2022 park. Make them feel they're in charge. Manipulate the environment. Shebi is dressed. Okay, we have dresses for church. These are the dresses for church. Like what I did for my daughter. She has ball gowns that she never wants to wear. So we are not talking about it. We have ball gowns, all these ball gowns. You can choose any one you like once in a month, and the other ones you can choose the remaining 3 or 4 times a month to church. Okay, so that is just it. She feels she's in charge. I get to choose my ball gown. I get to choose what I wear. Who is really in charge? I actually set the boundary, and she's operating within the boundary, feeling she's in charge. I'm not dictating to her. So let the other person feel the high idea is actually hers. The next one is try honesty to see things. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Yes, yes, yes. This is one of the skills many parents do not have. Many parents do not have. I remember one time I shared something on social media. I was almost bullied. What happened was my niece-in-law, if there's a word like that, was getting married, and so she made a dress for my daughter and I to wear. We got to the wedding. She was going to wear the dress I made for us to wear. She was going to wear her different dress. She had a particular dress she had not worn many times, so she had been keeping that dress for her big cousin's wedding, because the cousin actually lived with us for some time prior to the wedding. She actually left my house, to go get married. So she actually wanted to wear that particular dress for the wedding. So now here was I coming to say, okay, this is a dress I made for the wedding, let's wear it together. And she didn't want to wear the dress for the wedding. And everybody was talking to her. She didn't want it, because sometimes she can be insistent on what she wants. So I put it on Facebook, and people were like, your child, you are supposed to be in charge. How dare my child don't want to wear the cloth that I brought out for us to wear, or something, See things from the other people's point of view. What about you? You had a dress you have kept for a long time for this particular occasion, only for something to just happen. Maybe your spouse or someone else to just come, yeah, wear this cloth. If we don't wear the same cloth that day, if I don't have a mini-me, what will happen? We are going for a wedding. It's not our occasion. We are guests at the wedding. So what happens? It's not as if we are taking a family photo that we must wear the dress. I just wanted to feel good. Oh, my daughter looks like me and all of that. And she actually has the right. It's something the dress the dress has been there. She's been keeping the dress. Is important to her. So learn to see things from the other person's point of view. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Is important. We learn to empathize to our children, people around us. We're sympathetic to their cause. The fact that you see something is not a big deal to you doesn't mean it's not a big deal to another person. No, we are not coming from the same place. Things that matter to me may not matter to you. Things that matter to you may not matter to me. So we actually have our priorities. We have things that are actually important to us. So don't play down people's emotions. Don't trivialize people's emotions. We don't operate. We don't have the same threshold. Excuse me. We don't have the same threshold. We don't operate on the same level. So learn to understand what people are going through, even if you cannot understand it, because that thing has not happened to you, or it's not something that is just important to you. Just know that downplaying it is really the worst you can do, and it makes you look mean to people. I remember one time my older son, I think about 2 years ago, he was looking for his toy and he was crying. It could have been easy for me to say, because of a toy, you are crying. Is something wrong with you? Are you old that you are crying over a toy? Something I've learned a long time ago is just the same way my phone is a big deal to me. I have a phone. Oh, I don't want to lose it. If I lose my phone, I am going to almost cry, if not cry. He doesn't have a phone. The same way, if maybe I lose my ATM card, I'm going to go like, where's my ATM card? Or what else am I looking? Or maybe I have a flat tire, for example. I'm driving and I have a flat tire. I am going to be like have a bit of emotions away from the appropriate place. The same way they have these things that are important to them. They don't have a car to bother about. They don't have the ATM card to bother about. They don't have what is it called? The phone, the gadgets to bother about now. But the things they have are their toys that matter a great deal to them. So it doesn't matter to you. It matters a great deal to them. So you don't play down people's emotions. Nah. The fact that it's trivia to you, is not relevant to you, is just something that doesn't make sense, looks dumb to you. It doesn't mean it is that way. So do not play down on people's emotions. Really appear to the nobler motive. Dramatize your ideas. Now this dramatize your idea is we have something we do at park that will show proof. Will show proof. It's almost like showing proof. You want to make it appear in such a manner that the person is convinced. You want to like bring life into it. So it's also when you are teaching your children, for example, I always say that one of the reasons why you see children these days, everybody wants to be a skit maker, everybody wants to be Davido, everybody wants to be a lot of football. Football is even like, as long as everybody wants to be a footballer, as it is now. Now these days is social media, skit maker, musician, and all of that. Now, the reason is I always tell people that is because these people are seeing proof. They see people display life on social media, the good life and all of that. So they just believe that these are the people that are entitled to the good life. They don't see other people in other professions. They don't see medical doctors. They don't see lawyers. They don't see other people showing off the good life. So one of the things we want to do is to show our children proof that, hey, everyone else has access to the good life. It's not just people on social media that have access to the good life. So you want to dramatize your ideas, throw down a challenge. Like I said, when we're doing the review, this throw down a challenge, I'm not really in for it, except when it comes to a challenge of self-competition, because it's actually a winning tool to get two groups almost like working against each other, not working against each other. Really, it's like having the success of one motivate the other. You come in, oh, these people actually did about 80% of their work. Whoa, we want to do 85% of our work. Actually gets them putting in their best without you necessarily breathing down their neck. Now, when it comes to parenting, I will take that to teach children self-competition. Oh, you did 70% yesterday, why don't you do 80% today? Something like that, instead of having them against each other. It is not competition. I do not want that. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Yes, I love that too. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing other people. Absolutely, yes. Because one of the things we are quick to do is to make our children feel that we are saints. Now, it is a tool. This is a strategy that works against you if you actually want to be able to connect with your child and be able to influence your child. Because if your child feels that you are a saint, you don't sin, you are infallible, what do you think runs through their mind? They are the sinners, so you can't relate. You will not understand. You have not been there before now. How will you understand? Have you ever told a lie? You've never told a lie. You don't know what it means, how you can have the urge to save your face. Oh, peer pressure. You have never been peer pressured. So you've never been in that kind of a sticky situation where you are pressured to just feel good among your friends, to actually belong. So your child actually feels that you're a saint, so you will not understand. So one of the things you actually want to do is to make sure that you also share your stories. When you're talking to your children, do well to share your stories because it helps a great deal. Now, talking about your mistakes, your struggles, and all of that. Ask questions instead of giving orders. That's a no-brainer. Ask questions instead of giving orders. Could you please help me with this? Can you come and see how we can resolve this instead of just giving orders? Boom, boom, boom. Especially if your children are becoming teenagers and you have strong-willed children, you actually want to make them feel important, make them feel the idea is theirs. Could you please give me a bottle of water? Yes. You are asking me if I can give you a bottle. Of course, they already know they'll give you a bottle of water. Could you please? You are asking them if they can give you a bottle. Or is my right to say yes I can or no I cannot? But the truth is, because you have raised them consistently, they will. You just make them feel the idea is there at the end of the day. Let the other person save face. This is very, very important. I wrote on Facebook the other time that correction is never an emergency, and I got people coming to say, how do you correct a child when a child uses foul words at another child? What do you mean an emergency? And I asked, what is the emergency in a child using a foul words at another child? I don't get you. Is somebody going to die? Is a house burning down? Why is it an emergency? Why the urge, why the need to fix it now, to yell at the child, to smack the child, to do your discipline, whatever you call discipline? Why is the need? If you get home, can't it be solved again? Anyways, we have a culture of embarrassing children outside in the name of discipline. Or someone tells you, my child did this, and the next thing, you want to start embarrassing your child. You want to show that I'm a disciplinarian. I don't support my child to do things that are not good. No, I'm telling you today now, it is a no. It is a no. Save the face of your child. When you get home, you talk about it. Besides, when you talk about it, you actually know, because you cannot solve a problem if you do not know the root cause. That is it. You cannot solve a problem if you do not know the root cause. So you must know the root cause of a problem to solve it. And that your superficial solution outside does not take you to the root cause. You must know the root cause of a problem to know how to solve it. So save your child's face outside. Otherwise, they will resent you. It will, even if they don't resent you, it is going to hurt their self-esteem. Public embarrassment. How do you feel if someone embarrasses you outside? No. So even your friends, you want to correct someone, bring it down. You can always do it away from the public. Don't embarrass anyone. Save people's faces, please. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. We are always quick to pick the negative. We always complain. We always criticize, condemn, and do all of those negative stuff. I don't blame us. I don't blame you, because the human brain is kind of wired, to pick the negative. Now, this is why you have a friend, you have done 1,000,001 things to please, or you've done 1,000,001 things to make happy, and just the one thing you did that your friend find offensive, it is the one they are going to hold on, and they will forget all the many, many ones. So we are just quick to just pick the negative, and we forget the good ones. And besides, because the good behaviors that are already our expectations, our standard, this is what we want. For example, you have a child sweeping the house, and the child is in the morning, the child picks a broom and sweep the house. It's not a big deal. It's supposed to sweep the house. But if the child doesn't sweep it clean or properly or to your standard, is a big deal. Why is it a big deal? Why is even the effort, the attempt, the initiative to sweep, why is it not a big deal? Why is it that is when the child falls short that is a big deal? So we want to make deliberate attempts, deliberate efforts to praise any slight improvements, to be able to pay attention to the good side, so that our children, we can begin to build their self-esteem, and they can actually feel appreciated. And not just children. Remember, it's not a parenting book, but we are taking lessons from the book and applying to our parenting. Now, the next principle is give the other person a reputation to live up to. I remember when I still was in the classroom and I had my pupils, I would give them different classroom jobs. There was one that was holding the door for people to come in and go out, the one that would share the pencils, the one that would run errands and all of that, and my PA. Now, I told them that these jobs actually, they have behavioral expectations. So it was because of that they learned a great deal of self-restraint, because no one wanted to lose the job, So everybody just wanted to be Mrs. Oruebor's class monitor, and that is basically it. For our children, is like, this is very effective when a child is struggling. You know that they struggle, not that they are struggling, they know that they don't have they are not motivated to actually do what they're supposed to do. They have the capacity and they have the skills, but they do not have the motivation. So you want to like raise the standard a bit. You want to not like raise the standard a bit. You want to like it's like set up, let them know what they can do by way of labeling them. Oh, this is what you can do, and all of that. And the child will actually look up to that. In terms of behaviors, for example, household chores, you can use this. The academic work, you can use this. Now, there are some children in school, you know, the teachers call them all professors because they have probably exhibited an outstanding knowledge in a particular subject. Maybe, oh, this child is good in science, professor this or inventor this and all of that. You see the children always wanting to live up to that standard. You know, you see them wanting to put in the extra effort to live up to that standard. It's an amazing tool to get your children to behave and to get them to cooperate. The next one is use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Now, this is it's just like also admitting your mistakes, you know, sharing your story, telling your child that you're not perfect. Something happens, you start by encouraging them. Oh, this you have done is beautiful. If only it's very beautiful. This thing is really beautiful, and you know, this would have been even more beautiful if you had done this and that. You are not saying, oh, this is you didn't do this, you didn't do that. You are not going all nagging and nagging and condemning. You first of all acknowledge, oh, you've done dishes. Wow, this is beautiful. Well done. And the kitchen would have been so beautiful if you had swept and tidied everywhere. You see it. So the child is not feeling like criticized or anything. You are still going to get what you want to get done without necessarily criticizing. I just love the sound of that. So I'm going to start applying that. Now, the last one is make the other person happy about doing the things you suggest for them to do, or the things you want them to do. Make your child feel happy about doing what they are doing. Make it easy, make it fun, make it what they actually want to do, not necessarily you pressuring them or nagging and all of that. Now, these are the principles in the book. I hope I've been able to explain them in bits in such a manner that you actually understand. So again, I'll expect you to look for the book, look for the ebook, look for the audiobook, and read. If you don't have it, if you are not a pack mom, it simply means you may not have the book. So what you want to do is to ask me, send me, drop in the comment section that, can I get the book, please? And I will tell you how to get it. I can give you the audio and I can give you the ebook. Thank you so much for doing this with me. And for pack moms, we are going to look at this and review them one by one in the course of the month. Thank you so much. Enimien Oruebor is my name. If you are watching this and you're not a pack mom, you're watching this, please, you want to subscribe, you want to like, you want to share, you want to let other parents know that there's an amazing thing going on here so that we can all learn and grow together. Bye for now.